All right, I'm going to be looking at Raylen Wilson at linebacker. There's some plays that he did a good job in. There's plays where he's got room for improvement. That's the reason why you watch tape. That's the reason why you get better. This first play, I really like it because it's looking down the blimp view. So what Clemson's lined up in is a deuces right. They're to our left, and you got a tight end with a wing on this side. And they're going to run a pin and pull concept where the tackle's going to pull outside, tight end's going to block down, wing's going to block down. So the wing's going to block Chaz, tight end's going to come up to Raylen. What happens here is Chaz really hurts us by getting bubbled off the block. So you notice he's not gaining any ground on the line of scrimmage. In fact, if anything, he's losing ground on the line of scrimmage. Raylen's first steps, I'm looking at his read steps, really good steps. He's accelerating. Now he's got to take on a block. This is called a push and press, or he's trying to shed and get over the top. But he's also got to be under control, because if this is cut back right here, he's got to be ready to pull him off and try to get to the tackler. But Brennan Still's doing a good job of getting hands-on. Now he's in a hand war with him. Now he's got to get off that block and get to the ball carrier, which he does, and gets enough hands on him to make the tackle right here, even though it's sort of a shoestring tackle right at the end. But it's still a good game by Clemson, because obviously they had us outnumbered to this side to a sense. And the safety gets there late. If you watch, Dan Jackson doesn't get there till almost there at the very end. In fact, KJ almost beats him across right there to the ball. And I know Dan wants to come downhill and hit. I'm really surprised on how late he is showing up for force and run support right here. But still, decent job by Raylen. You want to continue to get off of him, off the block. What I would probably do is try to get skinny and run a hoop right there instead of engaging with his hands, since it's not something where he's got to take him on straight on. Like if he was attacking him up in the hole, there's going to have to be a punch and press concept where you try to shed the blocker with that technique. But in this case, he really needs to try to run the hoop, get skinny, get underneath that block. Don't let those hands get on him. That way he's not hand fighting with him as he's trying to make the tackle right there. But just wanted to show you in full speed, Raylen Wilson. Basically, they're calling the strength to the field right here, because CJ's lined up to the left and he's considered the mic, and Raylen's at the wheel. So here's full speed of the pin and pull and him shedding to get to the tackler. Get off. Good. Now, this is good old-fashioned zone technique where you're the backside backer to the quarterback side off the pull. Old days, you've got, the trips bunch right here, trips bunch nasty to our side right here. I would just call this early bunch nasty or early bunch tight. And Raylen's the backside backer. So this is zone action, which means CJ's got a fit. He knows he's got help right here with a corner, believe it or not. I know that's Dalen Everett filling the hole right there. It's also Tyrion Ingram Dawkins getting off that block, even though he sheds it, man. That's nice. I didn't even realize that. He slips and still gets off 78. Get off me. But anyhow, we're watching Raylen. I'm sorry. I get a little excited here when I'm watching film. It's always some good things to see. But what Raylen has to do off this is he's a quarterback player, just in case, because they are running split zone look. See how number 11's coming across to take care of the read on Chris Shamlis, on Chaz Shamlis right here. Chris Shamlis played for the Braves back in the 80s. So he's got a fit to the quarterback side. So you'll notice what you're saying, well, why is he going away from this when number 7's going that way? Well, he knows he's got somebody to make him right in the hole. CJ's obviously bringing some kind of late blitz or a late fire, because he knows Dalen is going to fit in that hole behind him. And then Raylen's sitting and waiting to see if the quarterback shows, and now he notices that the ball's been given. So he puts his foot in the ground, redirects, and gets over the top and gets in with a little assist action there. But, even if Dalen doesn't make this tackle, I think Raylen definitely makes the tackle and is in good shape right there to make the tackle. So it's not about always making the tackle. It's about being in position to make the tackle. So, again, he's going to stay backside, quarterback read. He's got all that ass to read right there. Look at all that big hodgepodge of kids sitting there, man. That's a lot of ass. Okay, so he's got to get off that and figure out, okay, if 2 pulls, I'm ready to fit that. Shamlis is ready to fit that, but he gives, so now he can redirect, put his foot in the ground, come back over the top, a little jump cut, get back to it. I love running this play because even though Raylen doesn't have to make the tackle here, they kind of tackle themselves. Malachi is basically playing as the nickel right now, a Sam backer in a 3-3 stack look, because Smiles walked up is like a wheel backer. Raylen's at the mic, and Malachi Starks is at the Sam right here. Or you could go the other way with it, because I guess the trips left right there would give away the fact that where strength is into the boundary. But, some teams don't always call to the most receivers. They may call the wide side of the field the strength. it's really irrelevant here. But this is where both guards run into one another. I just have to laugh at this. It's kind of funny because they're running gap scheme to the right, and the right guard thinks he's going left, and he pulls, and they end up blocking one another. So you can tell Raylen's kind of confused off all the ass that's sitting there in front of him. But he knows he's got Malachi as run support to his left. Look at their hats and look at their shoulders almost move. It's like a mirror image of one another. That is amazing, just watching where their fits are at because of what they see. Malachi's going to fit outside in, and Raylen's going to fit inside out. So somehow, some way, he squirts out of there from the backside. You've got not only Smile chasing it down, but Raylen's there to fit it too. So just really cool feet work right there on the shuffle, and just getting your read steps. Even though it's really funny watching two guards run into one another, I have to see that again because it just makes me freaking laugh watching them do this. But anyhow, just good steps, good footwork to the football. And if it is run correctly, he should be fitting downhill to where the tackle would be pulling up to him, so he would be taking that on. But right now, you just got nothing but mush because the guards running into one another. Full speed, bam, ow. Good footwork. This is the quick hitter where he hits Dalen Everett's receiver 0 on like the slant or the quick little dig. But right here, we've got just a straight-up cowboy. This is what I called cowboy, where you're lining up your wheel backer right over the top of the center, and you're picking a side. And a lot of times they'll run an X stunt out of this, where he'll pick one side, and there comes the X off of it. Normally it's the other backer, but in this case, we're bringing Jalon all the way around from the outside at the jack. And he gets, Coach Luke did a good job with their offensive line taking on our X stunts. I think they blocked it pretty well all night long, to tell you the honest truth. But anyhow, what I like about this, though, is last year, Raylen Wilson would run right into between the 5 and the 3 on that center's chest, and he would get locked down because when you get on typically a big center or a big tackle, and people get hands-on, you're going to see that happen. And what I like here is as he attacks the gap, he gets skinny. And now that center can't handle him very well. Now he's able to take him on with that shoulder and shoves him off, like, get off me right there. And if, Klubnik knows he's got to get rid of the ball quick, Raylen might have a sack right there. But this is the difference of even his blitzing that I think is important. It's changed because now he's not running right into the chest and getting caved by a guard or a center. Now he's making them work for it, shedding, getting skinny, getting off of them, and almost running that hoop concept we talk about like a defensive end does. And there's where his strength, to me, he is filled out. He is so much stronger in his body, and it's evident right there. He's got 53 off his feet. He shoves him in the ground, and that looks really good on his technique. So I'll take that all day long from him as a Mike backer where he's already standing up in the gap. Center knows he's coming, and he's still able to beat him. I love what I see right there out of his technique because he's making somebody else right because Jalen's going to fit right where he left from. And, look at 74. He knows the minute he sees that guy go outside, he's turning for the X stunt right now. They knew Jalon was coming. But anyway, good job by Raylen right here on his fire blitz. All right, this is another fire blitz by Raylen. He's coming off the edge here looking like he's stacked up, and now he's coming through B gap. So the right guard sees him off the X stunt because the guy that's lined up as a 3 technique, I can't tell. I think that's maybe Mikel, is going to come over into crossing all the way over into opposite A gap. So they're bringing an X stunt with Smile and with Mikel, and they're firing Raylen straight through the hole. So they're hoping that eventually that late call right there allows a Smile to get to him. But Clemson does a great job. They pick up the X stunt. The RB's in the hole too as well. Phil Moffa knows what he's doing there. But I just want you to watch Raylen coming through on this right here. He's just not running into the center of their chest anymore, and he knows he's got leverage and he's got strength now. You can see here if Cade Coley has to hold on to the ball any longer than he does, then, I really do think 5 gets to him. I mean, he's in great leverage position so that if Cade were to have to pull down and run with it, he's going to get sacked by either Tyrion Ingram-Dawkins, who's doing a hell of a job on the outside, getting to him, or, of course, him on his blitz where he's now not running straight into the center chest of a lineman and taking that on. So just a really good job on his fire blitz stunt right here, which is really trying to get Smile to the ball, to the quarterback instead of him. All right, this is the really good play from Jalon Walker from the backside. But what I want to watch is Raylen's coming off the edge. This is a very simple design that we run with a jack out of our mint where we walk up an outside linebacker and bring him off the edge just like we do the jack. So we got basically 2 edge rushers. Last year, Raylen Wilson gets moved out by 71. But right now, that kid has gotten so much stronger that he's holding up that left tackle and not letting him drive him out of there. And not only that, he's being more athletic than that left tackle, getting off the block. And if Jalon doesn't get there, he's probably at least getting hands on him too. in the process. So there you got C.J. Allen fighting to it, Raylen fighting to it, and Jalon coming off the backside here. But this is just the difference of 5 this year. So much stronger, so much more athletic, learning how to take on blocks, use his hands, shed, get off of it, and get to the ball carrier right there. So it's good things to see from him. Watch this in full speed as he gets 71 off of him. Get off me. Pull, go, attaboy. Now, I love this play right here. This was a 3rd and 1 play. This is another play by Jalon where he got held and made the tackle. But I want you to watch. Raylen is lined up over Brennan Stool, number 9. And what he does is, because he doesn't have any responsibility of those 3 receivers in front of him, he either attacks them, or if they bypass him on the run, then he's going to run right underneath it and go to do exactly what he does here. I think it surprises him when he actually gets through and nobody touches him, and he's actually hitting the zone back right in the freaking sternum. The one thing I would love to see him do, this is a kill shot. Knock the absolute hell out of him right there. He does a good job of securing him and makes Cade have to pull the football. And you've got the traditional quarterback pull off the zone read with a lead guy coming around for him, which is an old school zone concept. That's the reason why it's good for your linebackers to sit in space. And Jalon basically does that as an outside linebacker to take on 5. But Raylen right here just does an excellent job of coming through and just blowing that guy up to make Cade pull this. I don't really think he was supposed to hand it off anyway. It was supposed to be an automatic pull, but it just looks good because it's like fundamental technique football where you have basically everybody textbook in their position. You got somebody for the running back, somebody for the quarterback, another guy scraping for the quarterback, getting held, and then you've got somebody, if there was a pitch, the pitch is number 5, but he's lead blocking, so Dalen's taking him on right there. Just great job by the defense overall, but really like seeing Raylen come off that edge, blow up at running back, bwap! Jalon gets off the hold, makes the tackle. They don't get the first down. This play right here is so cool because this is a great job by 5, just disguising where he's coming from. He's able to move around. They have no clue where anybody's coming from. There is nobody lined up to the half hat to the right of the center, all the way outside of the tackle right here. Well, what I want you to watch is when it comes down to it, like Cade ends up calling an audible at the line of scrimmage, changes everything up, because look where everything kind of starts. He looks like he's showing over here. All of a sudden he backs up. He makes Cade go into an adjustment. They call something different right here at the line of scrimmage. Now you can tell Raylen he's waving something off right here, saying it's good, we're good, we're good. And now watch what happens. Everybody is going to fill their gaps respectively of where they should be. So you get the rocket motion out by your F-back. Now we bring the blitz. Now look at the X stunt. Now look at all your gaps covered. So what happens? Raylen comes down into B gap. You have whoever's out on the edge coming around. I think that's Gabe. He's going down into A gap, and Jalon's got C gap. So everything's covered still, even though right now it looks unorthodox. It's such a cool thing to see all the different movements, but yet still every gap sound when the ball snaps. But again, Raylen doing a good job of taking on the guard, and the guard decides, you know what? I think I'm going to go get that X stunt. Coach Luke's been talking about it all week long. I've got to go get him, and he leaves Raylen free to make the tackle on Cade right there. So good job of just being in the right spot in the right gap, maintaining gap integrity, and coming up and making the tackle right there. So watch it in full speed. I want to pull it all the way back out before the audibles too, and just watch all this geniusness taking over right here. He's got his show. Now you see he's talking to him, letting them know, hey, it's off, it's off, it's off. Now he comes up on the other side. Now he walks back, and then look where he ends up coming. He ends up coming back to the gap he started with right here. B gap, A gap, C gap. Make the tackle. Boom. Something I think he's going to learn and get better at. You got Foster in the game now. You got Raylen in the game. I think this is later. Yeah, it's in the fourth quarter with 6 minutes left. And what Raylen's going to learn to do right here is peak. I always told my linebackers, if you have no blitz responsibility, you're just playing sound fundamental football in A and B gap, is that when you get past, you've got a hook curl area. But if you can push to your zone, because if you're to the single receiver side, more than likely anything that's going to come into you like a slant or a dig will be in a lane specifically where if you keep running before you gain your depth, you'll run right into the slant route and have a pick. If Raylen keeps running right there, I think he at least gets his hands on the football. But instead, for some odd reason, he pulls up, and I don't know why, because his running back is obviously setting to block. I think he sees him running out thinking he's going on a flare, and he ends up setting up for pass set. I think that's what he was going to do, was go get him. But still, though, if he's got him in a man-to-man situation, which is what it looks like we have here, that, still, if he's in zone and you have something like this, peek your receiver. Do you have 2 receivers to your side? Do you have 1 receiver to your side? And when you pull and you're in that hook curl zone on zone-type plays, run and push through that slant lane. You never know. You might get a pick on that slant route as it's being thrown right here. But I think, again, after I watch it on film here, that we're in a man-to-man look. Raylen's got 19 man. He thinks his guy's about to fly. He goes, flies with him, and he sticks. And then that makes Raylen sit down, and that's why he doesn't continue through his path there on the slant. But still, just great steps, great vision, way to put yourself in good position. It's going to end up being positive things for him down the road. This is pretty funny because he's actually telling everybody what they're about to do right here, right before the ball is snapped. And he's not even looking at the ball is snapped right now, guys. And he's not even looking. He hasn't even put in his mouthpiece yet. The ball is snapped. Luckily, it gets snapped to the left of Cade. He is just now putting his mouthpiece in his mouth. Okay? And now he is reading what he sees, which in front of him, everybody is stepping out. So they're trying to pin and pull with 2 inside the 10-yard line here. I think they're on the -7 right here. So he's not even looking when the ball snapped. Then he's putting his mouthpiece in as he's shedding the block. And luckily, because I think of that one-step delay, nobody sees him. What happens is 64, the guard, comes off that deuce, all right, with Mikel, and realizes late that, oh, crap, there's my guy. And there he is putting a hat to the ball right there, right on 7's hip and taking care of business. But I'm talking, guys, this is how we hunt at linebacker. CJ does it, Smile does it, and Raylen does it now. Their pursuit from cloudy clear inside out is magical, watching them get to the football. Look at him just sidestep that little block right there where he's getting blown up. Got a little condition there happening. Because, like I said, that's Malachi Starks taking him on, too. I like it, man. Buckle in, Malachi. Atta boy. And then we shed and block, and we hit and watch. When he hits, he's going down, guys. And also KJ Bolden in there as well. But I just find it funny. He's not even looking when the ball snapped. Then he's putting his face mask, his mouthpiece in while he's running. Okay? Looks like KJ's doing something back there, too. It's like synchronized, put your mouthpiece in your mouth. Check those two out at the same time. But anyway, just had to have a little fun with this right here. But watch it in full speed. Good scrape, good fit, inside out, boom. I think Raylen does a good job right here. They're in double slot. This is what I'd call a tiger formation. I always used to call the double slots because it's such a neutral lineup. You got 2x2 with 2 slots instead of 2 wides. And they're in man-to-man on him, so as his guy goes wide in motion, he goes out with him in man, and he's trying to run off Jalon, and they're running the quick screen to it, what I call a jailbreak off of this, which is funny. They try to clear the corner, but Raylen's too fast. That tackle can't get out to the play side backer that's got him man. They're thinking there might be like a slot or a nickel on him, but heck, we got a linebacker on number 2 right there, and he don't let him go anywhere. This is a great job of getting outside, working inside leverage, not overstepping your boundaries. He almost does, but he gets back inside and makes the tackle right there. So good leverage, good position, good hat. Find the football, make a tackle. Good job, 5.